Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to take a look at the Era 2 Premium Light, the Tanque Argentino Mediano. This is an independent premium and in game it is referred to as the TAM. Jumping straight in then, with the question that everyone's probably asking, should I get the TAM? Should I buy the TAM? And my short answer to that question is no. With the current balance of Era 2, it functions poorly as a light tank, and at best it's a mediocre medium. It's a big target, it's very easy to see, it's very easy to hit, it's sluggish when you're trying to get it moving, the reload is too slow for it to be impactful, the handbrake is not very effective, and it turns like a battleship. I mean, if I had to give you guys a description of how this feels, it feels like a stock Marder 1A1, but it doesn't have the ATGM and it doesn't have the autocannon. In my opinion, you know, back in the day, the TAM, as you see it here, it could have been something. It really could have been something in the game, but today it is ineffective and inconsequential. Right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the stats of the TAM and compare it to its closest cousin, the Marder VTS-1. There are other tanks that are similar to the TAM, and you could compare the TAM to these other tanks, so that's the Object 934 and the Type 63 HG90. Those are both, well, I say both, single-shot light tanks. 934 does have ATGMs, I believe it's only got 4 of them though, so it's kind of like, you know, you're going to be using the gun. It's a light tank, so there are other tanks of this type in the game, but there's a reason you don't see them very often. I mean, when was the last time you saw a 934? Or a 63HG? Or even a VTS-1? When was the last time you saw one? You probably can't remember. But when was the last time you saw a Weasel? Probably the last game you played. There's a reason that light tanks in Era 2, like this one, are not that prevalent. There's a reason we don't see them very often. But anyway, I'm going to compare the TAM to the VTS-1. So, the TAM has 390mm of pen on standard rounds, 449 on gold, and 250 on secondary. The VTS has 449 on standard, 505 on gold, and 250 on secondary. Both the VTS and TAM will do an average of 460 alpha on primary and gold, and secondary HESH will do an average of 570. So, gold spamming in the TAM is the same as firing standard in the VTS. Both tanks have 2500 hit points. Unboosted, the TAM will max out at 75 km an hour, while the VTS will max out at 74. View range for the TAM is 555 meters, the VTS is 550 meters. The moving and still concealment of the TAM is 314 meters, and on the VTS it is 307 meters respectively. So, at a very high level, there's not a huge difference between the TAM and the VTS-1. Since the TAM is a light tank, it's worth noting that you can get its concealment down to 179 meters with the right crew and equipment, or the crew and equipment that I have. And a side note here, you don't need Deadeye on the crew. I've just grabbed this crew from my Stritzforden 9040 and I've chucked it in here. You don't need Deadeye, so you can switch that out for whatever crew skill that is best suited to you. But from a stats point of view, the TAM is a below average tank. And with my experience in the game and knowing how things used to be, even if I were to disregard the ATGM and autocannons that we have in the game now, you know, rewind to the time when the Scorpion 90 and the BMP2 were the two, they were king of the hill. Those two, they shared the hill. They were king in the game in Era 2. Even then, the TAM is underwhelming. Yes, the gun is good, but the rest of the vehicle is severely lacking. Its inability to turn in a close fight means it's very easy pickings for, well, everything. It's weak against heavies and mediums at close range because it just can't get those, quick turns in. And against any other light tank, or anything with an autocannon, I'm afraid it's just game over. which is a shame because the gun on this thing is quite good, but without the ability to reach out at range with an ATGM like other lights in this era, it's just woefully underpowered. If Wargaming though were to overhaul Era 2 and rebalance everything, then maybe the TAM will become competitive. But as the game stands right now, it is not fit for purpose, and it's just not competitive as it is right now. But that could change. Hey, I don't know. If Wargaming fixes things, then maybe it will become competitive, and that would be great. But right now, as it stands, it is not competitive, and it's not fit for purpose as a light tank. Alright, let's round this off with the economy stats. The TAM has a 65% silver boost, 10% tank XP boost, and a 4% free XP boost, and finally a 10% crew XP boost. That silver boost, being as high as it is very nice. It does show that Wargaming are aware that this tank is lacking, but unfortunately it's not enough to save the TAM. The TAM, it's a no-go in my opinion. As it stands, as the game stands right now, this tank is not worth getting. But feel free to spend your money as you see fit. Okay folks, that's all I've got for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.